You can see. Good morning, Dontavius.
Good morning. How are you?
Thank you so much for joining me. You all are in for a treat today. I have Representative Dontavius Jarrells. Am I pronouncing Jarrells correctly?
It's Dontavius Jarrells. Jarrells, yes. Like
perfect.
Rhymes of barrels.
I want to make sure I got it. So, Representative, don't you love hearing the sound of that, Representative?
I have not gotten used to that yet. It is steadily something I am getting used to, but I'm not getting used to it yet. So it's still new to me.
Well, it is. It is so exciting and awesome, and we're so lucky. We're so lucky that you're serving at the State House.
Oh, thank you.
It's great. You have a great track record of community involvement, long career, but also proudly serving as the chair of the Black Caucus of the Young Democrats of America, founding board member of the New Leaders Council of Columbus, founder of Columbus African Council, serves on the executive committee member for Franklin County and Ohio Democratic Party. So you've been really involved.
Really, ever since I was 22 years old. That's kind of where I've been on the ground running. So.
Well, thank you for all of that. I know it's making a huge difference. And thank you also for agreeing to share your values and superpower. It's really important for folks to hear from folks that are leading in our community on what drives them. What are the values? And what I find is sharing those values and then what you're really good at, what's really important to you, inspires a lot of folks. So with that said, I am going to turn this over to you and let you share.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll go ahead and put your graphic up here as soon as I get it. There we go. Okay, here you go. Go for it.
All right, perfect. So I am first and foremost just truly honored and privileged to be here. I've too been watching a lot of the 7 minutes of sunshine and just really just profound conversations on the whys around people's careers, their passions for service. And I'm just honored to be here with you, Tom, and provide a little context for where I am and who I am and why I do what I do. So when I think about my journey, it really has started around a really understanding of being curious. Curious about what's happening, what's going on, why is these situations happening in my community? How are people standing up? Who is speaking out, right? Asking questions. And, when I was a little kid, I just knew that asking the right questions unlocked doors that I may not even thought was possible. And so curiosity really is, just a part of my why and how I use, that to really expand and examine some of life's most challenging questions. And so curiosity is such a beautiful starting point for me as I look at service and how do I use service to change my life, but also change lives in my community. Having empathy. It is, I think it's so important. I kind of have to go back. My grandmother was an amazing, amazing woman, and she taught me to really look and understand the struggles of other people. That it can't be you and you alone in this fight. You have to really understand, where are people coming from? Why are they? They are who they are. Right? What are some of the traumas that they may be bringing with them that may be creating the reaction or the response that you're seeing, and having the empathy to have grace for folks. And that's something that I've had to learn over time. But I recall back moments of my grandmother's life telling me, where you come from doesn't determine where you go. And that empathy is, I believe, is the engine of moving you through life and an upward fashion. And so having empathy to understand the challenges of others is such an important aspect of what I use for my service. A collective power. It is so important that we understand that you cannot do this alone. That is going to require all of us if we're going to build a neighborhood that we want to see, a city that we want to see, a county, state, or nation. And though that collective power has to be diverse, it has to be a space where anyone feels open to use their power wherever that is, to influence the change that they're seeking, and then collectively, as a unit, move in the same direction, to build our communities up. And then hope. I think it's, to be a public servant, you don't need a degree, you don't need a title. All you need is hope. And for me, that has always been at the point of the my reason why I go into service, why I work in my community, why I bring people up with me, because I hope that a better future is going to happen because of it. I'm one link in the chain, and I know that I can't change everything, but if we collectively can be the strongest link that we can be, the people who come on after us have a better shot at reaching the vision that you're trying to get to. And so I know that I'm not going to change everything, but I do know that the work I do and the shoulders I stand on and the shoulders that stand on me, or the feet that stand on my shoulders, is going to get us somewhere. And I hope somewhere much better than where we are today. And then service is my superpower. It's the reason of my why. It's why I got involved. It's the what I paid back for the opportunities to be in these spaces. And service is an opportunity to become someone that you've always wanted to be. I grew up when I was, and I'll tell you a story and I'll end. When I was in 7th grade, I used to take 3 buses to middle school in Cleveland. And I remember I was on the bus, it was a crowded bus, and there was a homeless woman who didn't have no one sitting next to her. The bus was crowded, everyone else was standing up. And so I sat next to her, not thinking, it's an open seat. But I soon realized that the woman was homeless because there was other individuals on the bus who were beginning to talk about her and talk about her smell and all these bad things. And I stood up for her. I spoke out and said, why is it that you're speaking about this woman's situation when you don't know her struggle, you don't know her story? And they asked, well, is that your mom? And I had to, thinking back at that moment now as an adult and as a public servant, everything I just mentioned is the reason why I do what I do, because at the end of the day, it's about speaking for others who don't have the voice. And that service has to be the opportunity to get to the heart of why that woman was homeless and really address our social and legislative policies that may dictate why that woman was in that position. And so me doing that brings hope and life to other people. And through my service, I hope I can be one strong link for others to follow. And so with that, thank you so much, Tom. And I'm looking forward to the amazing work that we do collectively.
Wow. Representative, beautiful, powerful story about the woman on the bus. Thank you for sharing that. I can see how that would motivate you and drive you. And I have to ask you, I mean, you're taking those values to the State House, and I know it must feel great. It must feel great to be someplace where you feel like you can make a difference. How is it going? How are things going with finding other people that share your values? I'm curious.
It's always, yes, we are the minority. And it is definitely going to be a challenge. I have great colleagues. I am honored and blessed to be walking in this space with so many amazing people who've come before me and who've done the work. Leaders like Leader Mamelia Sykes or Representative Erica Crawley or Senator Herschel Craig. So I know that I'm not alone. The challenge is finding folks on the other side who carry one, if not more, of those same values I have. And it takes conversation. It takes empathy, right? Understanding where they come from. I represent all walks of life in my district, and it's my job to represent every single one of them. And so how I can relate to my other colleagues on the other side is going to be helpful in how I service not just all of my community, but hopefully get to a point where we can find compromise in light of everything happening in our news and our history. right now, and then hopefully know that what we do collectively is not just for a Democrat or a Republican, it's for the people of the great state of Ohio. And so that is the hope. And I have hope that we're going to hopefully do some amazing things collectively. But at the end of the day, I am one of an amazing group of leaders who are all working for the progressive future of Ohio. And we're going to fight like no other to make sure that happens.
We're so lucky there at the State House. Have you had any success at all with some of those conversations with some folks at the state?
Yeah, we've had some conversations related to the benefits cliff.
Okay.
That's really interesting. A person who is making $10 over a particular service provided to them should not lose the entire service. That sets them back. And so, there's been a lot of conversations related to that. There's the mental health and addiction crisis that we're experiencing. Opioids is still a major issue for a lot of Ohioans, and and that's a starting point of a conversation. It's coming along. I've been in for 3 weeks.
Yes, I know. Not very long.
And we've been hitting the ground and the pavement hard to make sure that we're representing this district with the level of service that it deserves. And so the hope is, as we move through the budget, hopefully the budget will probably be announced soon, at least the starting point of it. I hope that I can find compromise even in the budget to make sure that there's services and supports available for every single Ohioan. And so that's kind of the hope. You're right. There's a couple of conversations happening. Obviously, we got to do some interested party meetings, but the hope is we can find compromise and do some good things collectively if we put away some of our ideological and philosophical beliefs and concentrate on focusing on people and on the issues that we are currently facing in this state. But at the end of the day, we're going to fight, though. And that's what I'm come here to do. Fight for my good people for the 25th House District.
Well, the values that you're taking to the State House are inspiring. They're all about, as you said, service and helping others. And I think taking those to the State House and connecting with others, you're going to bring out the best of some of these other folks too. You're going to look for that. It's so exciting. I'm just grateful that you're there.
Thank you.
It gives me hope too to have folks like you at the State House. Yeah. And I know a lot of people get cynical.
Yes, they do.
Cynical but when you hear stories like yours, it's got to wipe some of that cynicism away and give us all hope. So,
yeah, I'm bringing you all along with me. So just get ready. This is
all right.
Not here by myself.
On the bus, we're ready to go. Hey, listen, thanks for spreading some sunshine today. I hope a lot of people get to watch this because you have a great story. But I know we're going to hear a lot more from you. And Representative, remember, even when it's really damn cloudy out, the sun is always shining, right?
It sure is. Sure.
All right. You have a fantastic day.
Oh, you too. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Take